Ah, vous êtes plus grand.
Fait qu'il était, tu parles, là.
Quel avion? Oui, c'est montagne.
from the big city, surrounded by this beautiful countryside. During the First and Second World Wars, it served as a Navy training center. It is currently home to a vocational college, while in the summer months, several hundred children still get to spend their summer holidays there.
Just